Hi everyone! Today I'm going to share some super cute ATC cards I made for August ATC swap, which is themed as pet animals. And this is organized over on the Craft World website by the lovely Lynn. Now I'm going to use some stamps and dies, which I've been meaning to use for so long now. And some people may argue farm animals, are they really pets? But I do really know a lot of people who would have farm animals as pets, and they are so cute. So I will be really happy to share with you what I used. So the stamp and die sets are used by Sentimentally Yours, and I've had these in my stash since last year when I won a Cardmaker of the Year 2023. This was my prize package from Sentimentally Yours. I've pulled out these uncounted times to use them. I just couldn't find any inspiration within myself what to do with these. So I was absolutely thrilled. I knew right away what I was going to use to make these ATC cards today. So as you can see, there's lots of lovely sets, and this set in here that I just pointed at now is a smaller version of all the other animals, because the ATC cards will measure 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and that's a given to us. So the larger animals wouldn't fit on it, except some of them like the duck I will be using from the larger stamp set. So what I did off camera, I stamped, heat embossed and colored in and die cut some of these already. As you can see, I used the VersaFine Onyx Black ink and Wow Clear embossing powder. And there's all the lovely images that I watercolored in. I will show you in a minute what I used to color these all in. So there's quite a few in there. There's more images colored in and ready to use than what I will need today. But I'd rather have more prepared than having to come back to stamping again. It's just the way I craft. So I always have something extra. So I have 3 pieces of white cardstock cut to 2.5 by 3.5 inches. But I will cut a little bit away from those because I want to have a little border behind them when I layer this up on the blue cardstock. So I'm just cutting away 1/8 of an inch in both directions. Just that bit what you can see in there, and that way I will be left with that lovely blue border all around them. For my background, I was going to ink blend in here, and my idea was to create like an outside scene with the grass and the sky. So the 2 blues that I'm using to ink blend the sky is Broken China and Salty Ocean. And I'm just using my blending brushes to do some lovely ink blending in here. This is quite a small area to ink blend on, so it doesn't take long at all, and it goes on real nice and smooth. For the greens, for the grass, I will be using a Rustic Wilderness and Pine Needles. This is my very first time using Rustic Wilderness for ink blending, and it's such a gorgeous color. Very different from the more vibrant mowed lawn, peacock feathers that I would normally reach for grass. So as I was ink blending in here, I was changing my mind about the scenery that I wanted to create. My original idea was to create like a daytime sunny kind of a vibe. But as I was using Rustic Wilderness, in my head, the way my mind went with this, it was a nighttime scene. It will all make sense in a minute. It will turn out beautiful. So just as I put these animals in front of it, it almost instantly looks like much darker than I want, or I had first imagined, not wanted to, because I'm very happy with the results. So I repeated all that ink blending on all 3 of those. And then here I'm just showing some of the aqua markers by Spectrum Noir that I used to color in my images. Some of the colors were diluted with water with a little paintbrush. Some of them I used directly to cardstock from the marker. So that's what I used to color those in. And now in here I'm just starting to set out my scenes. I really loved that goat standing up on that tree trunk. And then I knew I wanted to use the little horse with the barn in the background. And that is a little, but not so little in here, daisy flower and stamp. Now I know it looks out of proportion in there, but I was going for a very whimsical look with these ATC cards. So I thought it looked perfect. And then here I was deciding, did I want to use the llamas or the ducks? They're both so cute, but I opted for the ducks. However, when I was looking at it in here, it's like it's missing something. They're looking up at something. I need to give them something. So I decided to go with the moonlight in there. And with one of these small circle dies from 2 red robins, I cut out of masking sheet. and this is what I used to create my moon. So once it was cut out, I had to come back and do a new ink blending with the masking sheet just taped in place for a little moonlight. And I am going to do the same ink blending as I done before, except around the moon, just for a gentle glow, I added a very light layer of salvaged patina as well. And then I came back again with the salty ocean and broken china for the sky, and pine needles and rustic wilderness for the grass. Now, if you're like me, even not that long ago, I used to be terrified of ink blending. Now I love it. But I just suggest that ATC cards or smaller note cards, smaller areas like this are so much easier to practice on than larger cards. Getting it right on smaller areas like this can really give you confidence in your ink blending. So I do suggest that you start with something smaller, and then you can work your way up to bigger areas. And this definitely something that helped me a lot with my ink blending. Now I just brushed the salvage patina over that moon a bit too, because I didn't want it to be overly too bright, but I wanted it to be there, that nice and gentle glow. Then I put the mask back because I wanted to add some texture, visual texture to those backgrounds. So in here you may have missed it, but I sprayed water on them and I'm tapping away the excess in here. So it already starts with a lovely little texture. And then I came in with my lovely Distress Sprays, which are my new sprays in my stash, and I love these. So you have to shake these up. The green one I'm using is peeled paint, and you can see I'm just masking away with some scrap piece of paper the top part, because now I'm turning them around and I'm going to spray Uncharted Mariner on the top part in there. Now they look quite dark in here. They will dry back, and the mica powder in them will leave you with some gorgeous shine and sparkle in there. Now those 3 dots in there are much bigger than I wanted them to be, but I will work with it and it will look absolutely fine at the end. So while those are drying, I'm just showing you some white jelly pen. I'm going around the outline of this because using watercolors, it can just happen that the watercolor will escape outside those lines, especially with fine lines like these, even though it was heat embossed to raise the lines up a bit. Some of the ink just escaped. So I'm just tidying it up with my white jelly roll pen. It doesn't make them completely disappear, but definitely tones them down to nice and clean look. For the last step of my backgrounds, I'm adding some stars, just using watered down acrylic paint in there and just splattering it all over those cards. Some of them went on the grass too, but I don't mind because I will be gluing my animals on top of these. Bit impatient waiting for drying process again. I just gave it a little blast with my heat tool. So that's the background's nice and dry and ready. It is time to decide what way I do want to arrange these animals, and I'm pretty much going for the layout that I had earlier on. I will be adding some more things here, you will see. So I brought back the stamp sets, and this step was inspired by that little goat standing on the tree trunk. I said, I need to give it something. It needs something. What is it looking at? So I decided to bring out some of those silhouette foliage stamps from these stamp sets. Now you can see me peeling all of them off these stamp sets, but I end up not using all of them. I just like to have them ready just in case, rather than having to go back and pull them out again. So I'm just taking out, I think 3 of these stamp sets had those silhouette-like foliage, just like the ones on the top in there. And I have 2 different ink pads in here, VersaFine Clear Shady Lane and VersaFine Clear Green Oasis. So I wanted to use 2 different shades of green. And this is what I meant, that it was inspired by this goat. I'm going to stamp them so it looks like the goat is reaching up for them. So it jumps up on that tree trunk so it can reach up to this foliage to nibble on, if that makes any sense. I don't know, it's just the way my mind went with this. But I absolutely loved the idea, especially when it was finished. I think it's really cute. So I'm using both of these colors. You can see them on a white cardstock on the right hand side in there. There's quite a difference, and I love it because it gives it that extra visual dimension in there. So I love using 2 different shades of greens for my foliage anyway, and this can't be just any different. So I'm just stamping some as if they were growing out of the grind as well. And I think it will turn out cute. I think I add one more in here. Yeah, I'll come back with one more in the background. And this is how my little goat will look. Hi, cute. I really think that adding that foliage just brought it to the next level. So this one, I decided that it didn't need any of that. I could have stamped some if I wanted to, but instead I decided to add an extra bit of that daisy in there. And for my third one with the ducks, I was deciding, should I or shouldn't I? And then I thought that it will look lovely in there, plus it will cover up that bigger, darker spot in there, which I didn't necessarily like. So it worked out absolutely perfectly fine. And I'm going to add some on the other side. It looks like there's a huge tree in the background and all these branches are just hanging off that tree. And I think that looks absolutely perfect. So a little bit more. Once I tied it up, it's time to glue down my animals onto the ATC cards. And here I did a bit too much glue. I realized I didn't need any on the bottom part, so instead of messing up my glass mat in there, I just did it on top of a scrap paper. And I'm going to glue the little duck in there as well, and then just using my scissors I will cut away all that excess in. And this is the first ATC almost ready. I will have just one final step to add to those. So now I am gluing down everything on my second card, and again just using my liquid glue, the foliage behind the barn in there, and then the barn, and then the horse, and finally I will come in with my scissors to cut all that excess away. Do let me know. I would love to read in the comments. Do you have any quirky, not usual, or kind of unusual pet animals? I would love to hear. I know some people who hold snakes and tarantulas and all that, but it wouldn't be for me. I really admire people who can have quirky animals. Like my children would love a dog, but I know that at this point the puppy would be just an extra work for mommy. So maybe when the kids grow up a little bit more and they are responsible enough to look after a puppy, they might be able to get one for them, but not just right now. Do let me know in the comments if you have any pets and if you have any unusual pets. I'd love to know. So in here you can just see me using my Collal glue, strengthening it all up by gluing them on the 2.5 by 3.5 inches in measurements, those blue cardstocks, and that's very heavy weight. It's like 270 GSM, I think. These are from the Lidl cardstock, and it's such a lovely shade of blue. And now, if you know me or you've seen my videos before, you know that we cannot go without a little bit of a sparkle. So this is Chloe's Creative Cards, a sparklish glitter range, and this one is Starfall, which is not your usual fine glitter. These are little holographic silver stars, and they are so gorgeous. You'll see it on close-ups in a minute. So in here you can see me adding, and I couldn't figure out why my glue dollops were much bigger than normal. We're trying to add it with a little bit of poke tool in there too from that puddle of glue that I put on my glass mat. It was just too much. And then I realized that I'm using the wrong glue bottle in here. So the glue that I have in this glue bottle is the art glitter glue, and now I swapped it over to the Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue. Now I love both of these glues, but I think the Cosmic Shimmer one is just a thicker consistency, or to me it feels like that anyway, and it is just much easier controlled for teeny tiny drops of glues that I needed in here. So that's what I swapped my glue bottle for, and I'm just adding little stars all over. Now this glitter jar has stars in different sizes. They're not all the same size. Some of them are much tinier than others, and they give such a lovely sparkle and shine. Just stay tuned to the end. I will show you the close-ups in a minute, and I'm adding some to this one as well, just up on top of the sky. It adds some lovely interest to these ATC cards. I absolutely adore how these stars look. Oh, and a little bit, I nearly forgot about my moon. Yeah, I added a bit of a dry clear glue onto the moon, and I dipped it into the crystalline glitter, which will just add some lovely texture. So I didn't add it all over the moon. I just created the little craters or whatever it is that you can see on the moon. And that's the 3 ATC cards ready. And just stay tuned, I'll show you the llamas as well in a minute. So you can see that gorgeous sparkle from the starfall glitter. How gorgeous is that? So the second one with the horse, just look at that. So cute. I really love this. Let me know which one do you like best, the goat, the horse, or the ducks. I think they all turned out really, really cute. So you can see that sparkle in there. The glue with the moon just needs to dry a little bit, to dry back clear, and then all you will be left is that gorgeous sparkle of the Sparkalicious crystalline glitter. And this is the llamas. Do you remember that background we had? I had to recreate for the ducks with the moon. I decided to use it for the llamas, and I decorated a lid of a box for all these ATC cards to go in there. So I just used exactly the same things to create the texture on the background as I showed you on those 3 ATC cards, and now they have a matching little box. How cute is this? I really love how this turns out. But before I show close-ups of these, just have a look of the cute ATC cards I received from my swap partner, the lovely Maggie this month. Oh, that hamster has just got the cutest face. Those are probably much more of a general idea of pet animals than mine, but nevertheless, I still love all of these. Please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Leave me a comment in the comment section below and check out some more of my videos. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified anytime I upload new videos. I really hope to see you back soon with another lovely tutorial. Until then, bye!